What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. And today, Hector Bellerin, Hector Bellerin. He's on his way out of here, people. Finally, are we going to get a right back who can throw the ball? A right back who can cross the ball? We're moving forward, people. Nah, listen, I'm not being disrespectful to Hakimi still. He's been at the club for a long time, but there's only so much we can take, man. There's only so much we can take, people. Big up everyone for joining me today. Thank you very much for being in the chat. Let's talk about Hector Bellerin, people. Ciao, ciao, Hecky B. Can't wait for this, says Ben. Why don't PSG go for Hakimi instead of Bellerin? Bellerin just needs defensive work, and guess who couldn't provide that for him? Well, he hasn't really been able to defend better. Under any of the managers. Hecky B, please leave our club. There's only so much we can take, man. It's time to go, as Claude would say, man. Big up, Curtis. Slightly late, people. About 30 seconds, I thought. The money tree, man. The tree man, you know. The tree man. Hector on his way, man. On his way out of here. But listen, with this manager, don't get overly excited. See! Listen, don't get completely confident that he's gonna go, man. His stepdad's the manager, so we never know what's gonna happen. Yo, Big C, loved your rant yesterday. Powerful stuff. Could hear the emotion. We need to unite to force change. 100%. If you haven't watched that show yesterday, go and check that out, man. I got into my zone, man. I had to lay it all out, people. We need our football club back. You know, we really need it back. Big up everyone in the chat. Thank you for tuning in. Big up my boy Franny Green. And it isn't done yet. I read from a popular source in France. They have no interest. Don't worry, man. We'll get him out of here somehow. Finally, he's going. So, people, the headline news today surrounding Arsenal. Hector Bellerin. The interest has been reignited from PSG. There are certain sources saying that this isn't completely true, but a number of sources today are saying that there is genuine interest in Hector Bellerin. PSG wanted Hector Bellerin last summer, and apparently Mikel Arteta convinced him to stay. I mean, dear, Mikel, what are you doing, Mikel? What did you convince him to stay for? Let him go, my man. Let him go. You know, he's also being linked with a move to Barcelona as well. They have a guy called Junior Firpo, who is a left back there. Can't get in the team ahead of Jordi Alba, and Arsenal apparently tried to sign Firpo in January as a backup left back to challenge Kieran Tierney. It's believed there could be a swap deal. Arsenal value Bellerin at around 30 to 35 million. Barcelona value Firpo at around 15 million. So it may be a case of them giving us 15 million as well, which, listen, I'd take it. He's our vice captain. Well, no one knows how. At the end of the day, no one can believe that he is our captain. You know, nobody. Well, vice captain, but a lot of the time he ends up with the armband, especially with Aubameyang not starting every week. We have seen Hector Bellerin wear the armband on a number of occasions, which is worrying when you consider, you know, how this guy has acted since he's been at the club recently. Not acted as such, but how he's played, should I say. You know, he hasn't proved to be good enough in recent times, unfortunately. So, listen, for me, it's a great decision for everyone if this happens. If I'm Hector Bellerin, and I'm not being disrespectful to Arsenal, you know, I'm an Arsenal fan. If I'm Hector Bellerin and PSG want me, I'm getting out of there. I'm getting out of there, people. Go to Paris, you know, fashion. Go and do your catwalks and your fashion. Play for PSG, win trophies. You win the league every year, guaranteed. It might lift his profile. It'll be in the Champions League. They get to the last stages. They got to the final last year, play with Mbappe and Neymar. It's everybody wins out of this deal. He is a bit of a name brand as well. So I think PSG would like it in that sense. But for me, for Arsenal, number one, why did Mikel Arteta convince him to stay last summer? Maybe he felt like there wasn't enough time and money available to replace him. Fair enough. But this summer, there's no excuses. Big up Goffrey said Arteta said no to 30 million in the summer. I mean, if that is true, listen, you guys know my opinion already of our manager. You know, why on earth would you turn down 30 million pound for Hector Bellerin, for Hecky B, or as some people call him, Becky B now he's being called. Man like Becky B, you know. What a guy, Becky B, mate. That's the people's captain, as people are calling him now. Unbelievable. Becky B, Hector Bellerin. Get him out, man. His time's up, really, for me. And it's time to move on. Let's just, I just want to quickly show you this, because this for me is what sums this guy up as a player. And at this point, I would have moved him on. Don't know if you can see all of this, apologies, but this was Hector Bellerin talking about Alexis Sanchez. Famously, he's a player who always wants to win. He demands from everyone, and sometimes it can be quite too much. It can be too much that Alexis Sanchez wants to win. So you're basically saying you want to lose? Is that what you're saying? I don't know. Like, is there something wrong with Alexis Sanchez wanting to win? In a competitive sport like football at the top level, can you actually want to win too much? I don't think you can. The guy's a born winner, Alexis Sanchez, you know. That's what separated him from... Let's face it, Alexis was the best player at Arsenal when he was at Arsenal, in my opinion. Mesut Ozil was very, very close to him, but Alexis was the one. He was the one. Santi Cazorla as well was close. He's a player who always wants to win. He demands from everyone. Sometimes it can be too much. Why is it too much? Maybe you're the problem, Bellerin. Maybe you didn't want to win enough. Maybe that's the issue, not Alexis Sanchez wanting to win. So for me, this guy just... He's a PR merchant. He sums up Arsenal to me with all this PR and all that kind of business. You can't want to win too much, my friend. This is football. This is the top level, you know. I remember when Robin van Persie left Arsenal and they said to him, what is the difference between playing under Arsene Wenger and playing under Sir Alex Ferguson? And he said at Arsenal, they want to win. Under Ferguson, you have to win. And that, for me, was damning when he said that, Robin van Persie. And I know Van Persie was, you know, hated and viewed as an enemy for going to Manchester United. And I understand why he was. But you've got to look at that. You know, that is the difference. Our players want to win, but they're not desperate to win. They're not ruthless enough. You saw it in the Manchester City game the other day. Where was the demand? Where was the hunger for victory in that game? You know, Hector Bellerin. Now, listen. Let's have a little look through the comments before I say a little bit more. Big up Curtis. The Bellerin who signed the 110k per week contract is not the Bellerin playing now. Time to move on. Big up my boy Broads in here as well. Go and check out his channel. RVP is spitting straight facts. He was, bro. He was spitting straight facts. Darren said, miss the days of Abue, Sagna, Lauren. Oh, mate. Quality right backs, man. Lauren, for me, outstanding right back. Lee Dixon, Bakary Sagna. You know, Abue was up and down, but at times he was decent. You know. No, that can't be PSG. Must be Paris FC. Everyone has seen him throwing the ball and failing poorly. It's crazy, man. Hakimi. We'll move on to that shortly. You have to hate losing more than you want to win. That is the mindset you need. Listen, winning is what you're in the sport for, people. Winning is what you're in the sport for. It's not about competing. It's about victory. It's about that feeling of winning. You understand that winning and losing is part of the game, but you don't say, why didn't they look at Alexis Sanchez? You know, Bellerin should have looked at Sanchez and thought, I need to learn from him. You know, I need to learn from him and improve and have that kind of winning mentality, that hunger that Alexis Sanchez had, you know. Fashion model plus the Chuckle Brothers. Yeah, you know, yesterday I called El Neni and Xhaka the Chuckle Brothers in midfield, you know. But, hey, do you think that fraud ballerina will play against Benfica? He will. Of course he will. His stepdad loves him, mate. Ainsley should be right back, but Arteta couldn't convince him. I don't think he even wanted him to. That's the issue. he actually didn't want Hector Bellerin to be moved out of the team. Let's look at Hector Bellerin. I don't just want it to be a slander situation because let's be honest. One or two things that I'll say about Hector. He's been committed to the club. You know, he's been at the club. This is his 7th season at the club now in the first team. And the Hector Bellerin from back in the day, I did think had the potential to be a top quality right back. I have to admit, he was a really good athlete. He bombed up and down. I felt there was, potential in his game. The Bellerin we're seeing now, maybe post-injury, is just not the same player. I mean, Hector Bellerin is 25 years of age. He turns 26 in March. He joined the club's academy in 2011. So he's been in England for 10 years, since the age of 15. As you can see here, he's been in the first team since the 2014-15 season when he broke in. It's interesting, his 2 best years for assists. One was under Arsene Wenger. The other one was under Unai Emery. In fact, he only played 19 games that year. I think that's when he got injured. 5 assists in 19 games. So he was actually having his best season in terms of attack under Unai Emery, which is interesting. As you can see, this season, 22 matches, 2 assists. I mean, he's not the same player to me, Hector Bellerin. He isn't the same player. I don't know. I don't know what it is. He hasn't developed for me. I still look at Hector Bellerin now. I think you don't cross the ball that well. Defensively in one-on-one situations, he often struggles against some of the better left wingers. Things like throwing the ball poorly and giving the ball away needlessly at times. I have not seen enough of an improvement in Hector Bellerin from 14, 15, 16, those sort of times to now. 7 seasons in the Arsenal first team. Have we seen a better Bellerin over the years? I think Bellerin was better 5 years ago than he is now. And that's not good. You expect players to improve over time playing at the top level. He's had a few caps for Spain, but more often than not, they don't pick him, to be honest. I think this move would suit everyone. Without being disrespectful, I think Arsenal need a better right back now. I think going to PSG will be a fantastic move for Hector Bellerin. Living in Paris, winning trophies, challenging in the Champions League. Go and play for Poch, who is a very good manager as well. It's an absolute no-brainer. Also, Arsenal could probably get half-decent money from PSG. They've got money. And he's a name brand. He is quite a big name in European football. So, for me, this move works for all parties. And I personally would be... I know I've made a little bit of joke out of it and made it a bit lighthearted, but I do think the time is up for Hector Bellerin now. And this is going to be one of the biggest tests of Mikel Arteta. How cutthroat are you going to be this summer with players that you clearly like on a personal, on a personal level? He likes Granit Xhaka. He likes Eddie Nketiah. He likes Hector Bellerin. You can tell he likes them guys. But he needs to be more harsh than that. He needs to move these people on if we're ever going to get back to the top level, unfortunately. So let's see. But I think from the comments from everyone, you're all quite happy to let him go. Now, 2 things. Number 1, would you let him go? I think nearly all of you would say yeah. And how much would you want for Hector Bellerin? What's the minimum price you would take for him? I've got to be honest, I think I would take even £20 million for him. I honestly think I would, which isn't a great deal, but I just think I'd take it and keep it moving. I honestly do. Get rid of Holding, Xhaka, El Neni as well. I would have no problem with them guys being moved on. El needs to be ruthless in the summer. He does. I have to admit one thing. I'm just going to say one thing about Hector Bellerin while I look at the prices that you're saying for him. I'd pay his taxi to the airport, anything. Loaf of bread. Dear man. Surely we could get 20 mil plus for him. Spanish international, been at Arsenal for a long time. Bit of a name brand. 22 million, yeah. I don't think we'd get 40 million for him. 30 million, 22. I would take 20 all day. 20 to 25. 10 million is 10 million too much. One thing I will say, Oh, people saying I missed a super chat. Apologies, people. Must have happened while I was sharing the screen. Apologies, whoever's super chat that was. I refuse to believe that Bellerin came through the La Masia Academy as zero technical ability. Maybe it was his athleticism. And that's probably a part of the reason they let him go as well. You know? Because they didn't see that level of technical ability in his game. And they felt like it was time to move him on at Barcelona. They seemed very willing to let him go. So Hector Bellerin, as I said, PSG, the story with PSG, they took Florenzi on loan last summer. He's had a decent season. The rumor is they want to sign him, Florenzi, but they're not happy. They don't have a backup. They were playing that Kerrer, is it? The centre-back at right-back. He got ripped apart in the Champions League final last year. And Poch wants a second right-back. The rumours are and the reports are that Hector Bellerin, a player that PSG wanted last summer, they are willing to go in for him again, and they want to get the deal done this summer, if possible. Now, obviously, as I said before, there's also rumours that Barcelona are potentially interested in a swap deal for Junior Firpo, the left back who can't get in the team, over Jordi Alba. It could be a player plus cash. They would have to pay us a little bit of money as well. So let's see. He may end up at PSG. He may end up at Barca. It wouldn't surprise me with Mikel Arteta if he is still in an Arsenal shirt next season. So that is Hector Bellerin. Now, moving on. If Hector Bellerin was to leave, the question then, people, who plays right back for Arsenal next season? Cedric Suarez has done okay. For me, he's a squad player. We have to go and get somebody to come in and replace him. I've brought up 3 names. Some of you have brought up 1 or 2 other names, so we'll speak about them as well. Demo saying Firpo is useless, no deal. So there you go, doesn't rate him. And Arteta would cry. The 3 names for me, and I'm sure you can see the title: Tariq Lampty, Max Aarons, and Achraf Hakimi. There's 2 others who you've mentioned as well. That is a player I like, Ricardo Pereira at Leicester. He would be difficult to get, in my opinion, but I rate him very highly. The second interesting one is this lad, Matt Cash, who's been superb at Aston Villa. I actually met him a couple of times in Nottingham. He was a right winger at Nottingham Forest. He's had a fantastic season at Villa. That's definitely another one as well who you could chuck in the thing. Callum Chambers, no chance. He's good enough to play right back for Arsenal. Tavernier, is that the lad at Rangers? That's another one as well. If you can think of any other right backs outside of the 3, Klosterman, I believe he plays over there in Germany as well. But I'm going with Aarons, Lamptey, and Hakimi. Kufal's been good at West Ham as well. So let's have a look. We'll go through them in order. You let me know which one you would go for. The first one, Tariq Lampty, 20 years of age. He's the youngest out of the 3. He's only made 11 appearances this season for Brighton. He's had 3 different injuries since December and hasn't played loads of football now. Chelsea sold him. He came through Chelsea's youth system. They sold him to Brighton on a permanent deal. I think Brighton only paid around £7 million for him. He's an England under-21 international. He turns 21 in September. He's very, very quick. I've always said the problem with Lamptey is this. I believe it's like 5'5", is it? Forgive me if I'm wrong. They've got it as 1.64 meters. I believe he's around 5'5". He is very small for a right back. Now, does that matter that much? I think sometimes, if the teams could target him, put crosses into the back post. He's very quick. Very, very quick. Very good going forward. He's aggressive in the tackle. People say his weakness, as strange as it is his defending. He's more of an attacking fullback. But at the age of 20, he would have a lot of years to develop. How much do you think Lamptey would cost? I think he would be expensive. I honestly do. 20 years of age. Brighton will stay in the Premier League this summer. Apparently, he recently signed a new contract at the start of the season. Brighton must have known that clubs were going to come knocking. I think he would cost around £40 million, if I'm honest. You look at right backs like Wan-Bissaka cost over 50 million. They're not just going to roll over and let you take him. I think he would be expensive. And as you can see, he's only made 19 appearances in the Premier League for Brighton. A good player, big future. Personally, for me, out of the three that we've mentioned, that would probably not be the one that I would go for first. I got to be honest. I do like him. And you're right. Chelsea do have first refusal on him. I read that as well. They put that in his contract. But I think because of Reece James at Chelsea, there would be no reason for Lamptey to go back to Chelsea. I think Reece James is probably better than Lamptey, if I'm being honest. 30 to 40 million, you're saying? Too short, which I think he is a little bit too short. Kevin Mbabu as well over there in the Bundesliga. Lamptey signed a new deal. That's what I'm saying. He would cost. We could probably get him for 30 mil. How much do you think, people? 40 million, 25 million people saying. I think Lamptey would cost more than Bellerin, honestly. Number one, there's hype around him. He's rated at the moment. Hector Bellerin is not highly rated right now. Number two, he's English. You know you pay that English tax a lot of the time in the Prem. He's only 20 years of age as well. Bellerin is 25. I think he would cost more than Hector Bellerin going out of the club. I really do. I like Dumfries, but now I watched him recently. I'm not so convinced. You know what? I used to get Dumfries on FIFA, and he was always a beast. I watched him a couple of times in real life. I thought he was okay, nothing special. Bit lightweight for Lamptey, people are saying. I just worry about the lack of height. Injury problems as well. Wouldn't pay over 30 million. Sorry, I think he would cost that. Give them Chambers plus cash. Would they take Chambers? I think they've got Ben White and Lewis Dunk. I'm not sure Chambers even gets in that team. Subscribe if you haven't already, people, and smash the like button. So there you go. We're thinking 30 to 40 million for Tariq Lampty, and I want you guys to let me know which one that you would take as well out of these, and obviously get other names in. Nordi Mikueli. Is he a right? He's a right back and centre back in here apparently. Kappa in Spain. Okay, people getting their names in. Let's go to the second one now. This for me, people. This is the one I would go for. This is the one I would go for. It's Max Aarons. This would be the one for me. 21 years of age. He's played a lot of football now. He's had, as you can see there, he's had over 70 first-team appearances. England under-21 international as well. Was linked with a move to Bayern Munich last summer. Bayern Munich made a £20 million offer. Apparently, they are still talking to his agent as well. I mean, Bayern Munich are not stupid. They can pick a player, and they want him for a reason. Fabrizio Romano today also saying that Carlo Ancelotti is targeting him to replace Seamus Coleman this summer. Over 70 appearances in the Championship, as well as 36 appearances in the Premier League, over 100 games at league level. Great experience for a guy of 21. He's a right back. He can also play left back. I think he's stronger than Lamptey. He's considerably taller than him as well, as you can see there. I think he's 5'9", 5'10", something like that, which is okay for a fullback. I believe he'll end up becoming an England international. You know, England are swarmed with right backs at the moment. Trent Alexander, Wan-Bissaka, Trippier, James Justin, Aarons, Lamptey. They got so many right backs. This for me would be the one. Norwich are in the Championship. They're having a good season. If they weren't to go up, he would be even cheaper. If they do go up, he would still cost. Again, I think he would cost 30 to 35 million. They rejected 20 million last year, even being in the Championship. He's having a very good year this year. As you can see, he's played 31 games this season, played 36 out of 38 last season, and 41 the season before they came to the Prem. Very consistent, very good player. This, for me, would be my number one target. I think he is the better defender out of the three. If you're just talking about purely defensive skills, that would be my number one target. People, comments, let me know. Let me see what you're saying. Talk to me. Get it done earlier and he will be cheaper. Yeah, you've got to get that move done, before the end of the season for me. I'll take him. Kroenke has money to spend, but will he spend it? That's the problem. James Justin can fill in. I mean, James Justin's just done his ACL. He's out for 9 to 12 months. Why would he choose Arsenal over Bayern? I mean, we just got to hope Bayern don't really come back in for him, and maybe he wants to stay in England. Plus, we could guarantee him first-team football. Would he be a guaranteed starter at Bayern Munich? Curtis, we never buy players from this country. Fact. I mean, why don't we? That is the question. And when we do, we buy substandard ones, like, what players have we bought from the Prem in recent years, really? Danny Welbeck, Mikel Silvestre, all the Chelsea rejects that we pick up. They're the ones that we seem to get. Matty Cash for me is better than Aaron's. I mean, Matty Cash had a very, very good season. I'm actually surprised by how well Matty Cash has done. I think he's been fantastic. He's not even a natural right back. He was a winger. He was a winger at Nottingham Forest and ended up at Villa, and he's done really well. He's done very, very well for them. But Max Aarons is the one for me that I would go for. Man, I'm saying put Willian at right back. I'm not sure about that, although he does play quite defensive at times, to be honest. So it probably wouldn't be the end of the world. But Max Aarons for me is the one I would go for. Arsenal won't sign him, probably not. They don't do anything that makes sense, really. He's 5'10", which is fine for a fullback. I think we can get Aarons for 30 million, which I would do that. I would do that. Max Aarons is the man for me too. I rate him very highly. Quick, taller than Lamptey, and defensively better. Yeah, for me all day long. One said, I don't think Aarons is great. He's good, but not great. We should get better. Give me a name, bro. Give me a name. I want to know the name. Franny said, Aarons is a must. Yeah, I just think he's got more experience than Lamptey. He's played twice in the Championship and once in the Prem. And you're talking full seasons. Lamptey's played, I think it said 18 or 19 games in the Prem. He's still reasonably inexperienced. I think Aarons is a better defender than Lamptey. I also think he would be cheaper due to the length of the contract that Lamptey has got would make it more difficult to get him. Have we got a buyback clause for Luke Ayling? No, I don't think we have. Would you want him? I'm not sure he's the one I would go for. Lots of competition for Aarons, yeah. Tetty from Fulham, people sleeping on him. He was at Lyon, right? Aarons fits that profile that Arsenal should be targeting. I mean, he's English, he's young, he's strong, he defends well. People saying Aarons no assists. Yeah, I did see that. Thank you for letting me know about the super chat, people. When I share screen, it doesn't let me see the comments for a little while. Big up Godfrey again. I think we will sign up Aspie, another Chelsea one. Can you imagine if we did that again? All these young quality right backs, and we go to Chelsea and say, give us your aging Aspilicueta at the back end of his career. Crazy. Big up Godfrey for the super chat. Really appreciate that. Aarons is much better than Lamptey. He's the right profile for us. Curtis get Doherty. Spurs looking to sell him. I mean, he is an Arsenal fan. We wouldn't want him. That's for certain. Let's look at the third one. This is the one that you seem most excited about in the comments. I believe this would be the most difficult one to get done. It's Achraf Hakimi. Very, very good player. Exciting fullback. Plays for Inter Milan now. Inter Milan are currently top of Serie A. This is the problem that Arsenal would have. He's played 23 games this season. 6 goals, 4 assists. I mean, when you were saying there that Max Aarons doesn't have no assists, 6 goals, 4 assists, 10-goal contribution from a right back in 23 games. This guy, the one thing I will say about Hakimi, having watched him quite a few times, he strikes me almost as a wing-back more than a right-back. Don't get me wrong, he can play right-back. But I believe naturally he was a winger in his earlier days. Again, defensively, not unbelievable, but he's just a fantastic athlete. Gets forward, creates goals, scores goals. He's only 22. He's a Moroccan international as well. He turns 23 in November. I've got to admit, Hakimi, I would absolutely love Arsenal to sign him. Do I think we can get him? Probably not. The rumour was that Inter Milan have struggled to make the first instalment to Real Madrid. They paid £45 million for him in the summer, big money for him, and they haven't been able to pay the first instalment. Apparently, they're negotiating to try and lower the first instalment, even though it's written into the contract. So Real Madrid may just say, look, they could take Inter Milan to court and demand all the money paid and that contract sort of be void, which would mean they would have to sell him. The thing is, Inter are top. He's playing well. If they win the league, it's historic in Italy, considering that Juventus have won like the last 8 or 9 titles over there. Antonio Conte, a manager that I've said I would have loved Arsenal to have appointed. I think he's a fantastic manager, Antonio Conte. He's getting the best out of Lukaku, Hakimi. They're a solid team right now. They beat Milan, AC Milan at the weekend. They've toppled Juve this season. I'm not sure Hakimi will want to leave there. I think this deal is 90% certain. I don't think we'd get it done. I know a lot of Arsenal fans are excited about Hakimi coming, but I don't see that one happening, people. Let me see your comments. I'm sure this is a player you would definitely want. Click the like button, you frauds. He can play right back, left back, right wing back, left wing back. There you go. Very good player. Semedo from Wolves is quality, or Ricardo from Leicester, but everyone can dream. I haven't been that impressed with Semedo, you know. I haven't at Wolves. I like Ricardo Pereira, definitely. Conte goes to invest in sides. Why should he come to a mid-table team with restricted budget? Yeah, it's true. Conte knows football, really good at changing the game. I mean, the fact he's turned that Italian league around like that and got Inter at the top just shows how good he is. But Hakimi is fantastic, you know. I would go for Hakimi all day. He scored 6 goals and 5 assists. They said they want to sell him. Yeah, but I just think if they won the league, that would bring money into the club as well. Maybe that then makes it easier for Inter Milan to pay it off. Brilliant at Dortmund. He was fantastic. Their counter-attack, fast-paced football really suited him. He's so quick, like 95 pace on FIFA. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with having them beasts, you know. Arsenal are pretty terrible on FIFA nowadays. We ain't really got no one worth getting, you know. We used to have some beasts on FIFA back in the day. Hakimi has a lot of informs on FIFA, Curtis. Must be good. Nah, he's definitely good, man. I watched him a number of times. How much do you think Hakimi would cost? The belief is around 40 million. They would want the majority of their money back. I don't think they could demand more than that. I don't think people would pay it for him. But around 40 million for Hakimi. I mean, if there's any possibility of getting that deal done, that's the one I would go for. But I don't personally think that one would happen. What do you guys think? Imagine next season having Hakimi and Saka on that right-hand side and having maybe Tierney and Pepe on the left. All of a sudden, you've got 2 quality fullbacks, 2 quality wingers, partnerships building. We're a different proposition. A lot of the problem this season at Arsenal for me is we haven't been able to build those partnerships. Tierney's been injured a lot of the time. Pepe has been in and out of the team, right wing, left wing, bench. Bellerin hasn't been great. You know, he's not an easy right back to play with as a winger. He doesn't help you, doesn't overlap, doesn't link up well. So too much chopping and changing, you know. I really want the future star Saka on FIFA, but he is 2 or 3 mil. Let's hope you pack him, man, in your rewards. Don't be surprised Chelsea steal Hakimi from under our noses. I mean, did Chelsea even need a right back with Reece James? They've got a quality right back there. I don't know how desperate they really need to get that done. Damon says, big up from Sydney, Curtis. Hecky B's thoughts on Sanchez. Winning mentality says enough about him. There you go. From them, we knew. I mean, as I said, Hector Bellerin, he's committed to the club. That's for certain. I think he loves the club and the clout and everything that comes with the club. You know, he was linked with Barcelona a few years ago. I'm sure he could have pushed for that move, and he didn't. So I have to give him some respect, you know, Hector Bellerin. He's been at the club for a long time, but I think he's overstayed his welcome now. Wilson said Max Aarons would be the perfect replacement for Bellerin. Definitely somebody that I think we should look at. Edu must be able to find a good young right back in South America. They always produce good ones over the years. Yeah, they've produced a lot of good fullbacks. Typical Arsenal that when we went for one, we went and got Andre Santos, one of the worst fullbacks out of Brazil, you know. Dodo Shakhtar, 22 years of age. Give the man a cheeseburger and some fries. I had to say that the weekend, man. No disrespect to Hector Bellerin, though. Do you know what? Hector Bellerin gets a lot of criticism for his other things that he does outside of football. Obviously, he's a vegan. He promotes that a lot. He invested in Forest Green Football Club. I think they're in League 2. He's obviously got this clothing brand and all that. I don't have a particular problem with that. You know, footballers are brands these days. You know, they're being encouraged to invest and get into other things. I've got no problem with that. I'm more interested in how he performs on the pitch. That's my biggest issue with Hector Bellerin. Rudy says, get real, Curtis. We ain't going for those type of players. This board ain't spending that sort of money. We ain't a big club, haven't been for a while now. Kroenke out. Surely out of Lamptey, Aaron's, Hakimi, someone like that, we could go and get one of them. You know, surely 30 million would get you maybe Aaron's or Lamptey. You know, we spent 45 on Thomas Partey. Thomas Partey is a bigger player than Lamptey and Aaron's. I know there was a release clause there, so it made the deal much easier to start and complete. But no, I think we could get one of them. I do think we could. Bellerin's performance off the pitch is wonderful. He's probably better off the pitch than on it, you know. Bellerin needs some yam and planting. Yeah, boy, weak, man. Boy, weak. Curtis, can we buy Dangote and play him as owner? I think he was chasing a little clout, Dangote, man. I don't think he's serious about buying Arsenal. I think he wanted some publicity at the time. I'm not sure he's coming back to buy Arsenal. Nelson at right back. It's funny, I've seen a few people say that about Nelson. Can he defend, though? That's the question. And Babu, yeah, been mentioned earlier as well. In all honesty, not even joking, I can see this club promoting Chambers. Oh, mate. I've had nightmares of Chambers, man. Jefferson Montero ripping him apart. Who else? Zaha ripped him apart last season as well. You know, I don't want Callum Chambers anywhere near that right back spot. Anywhere near people. Nowhere near good enough. I don't even think he's all that at centre back. Never mind right back. I mean, you could say he's half decent at centre back, but definitely not at right back. Too slow. Doesn't read the game quick enough. And as I said, right back is one of the hardest positions to play football in the Premier League, because the left wingers in the Premier League are so good. You know, they're unforgiving. There's so much pace out on that side. It's near enough. You know, you've got to be a top fullback to deal with these kind of wingers that you're playing against. So, no, I wouldn't want Callum Chambers there. I just wanted to touch on this quickly. It's since 1997. On this day in 1997, Arsenal signed a young super Nicolas Anelka. Now, for some of you younger viewers who haven't really seen Anelka play for Arsenal, there's obviously a documentary out on Netflix about Anelka. Go and watch that. It's a fantastic documentary. And I have to admit, right, growing up, this guy is one of my favourite ever Arsenal strikers. He doesn't get spoken about that much at Arsenal because he wasn't at the club for that long. He ended up playing for numerous other English clubs. Obviously, he played for Liverpool, Chelsea, Bolton, Man City. He was at loads of clubs. I think he even played... I think he might have even played for West Brom. Forgive me if I'm wrong. But he played for a number of clubs. And I have to say, this guy is one of the most underrated players I've ever seen at Arsenal. You hardly ever see this guy get spoken about. Go and watch his goals on YouTube if you get a chance. Thierry Henry, who you can see here in the picture with him, Thierry Henry said that Anelka was a naturally more gifted striker than him. And Thierry Henry is arguably, with Cristiano Ronaldo and, you know, the best player to ever play in the Premier League. Super Nick Anelka. There you go. Misunderstood was the name of the documentary on Netflix. Go and give that a watch. It's a fantastic documentary. It's in French with subtitles. Amazing footballer. Doesn't get spoken about enough. You know, scored in the FA Cup final for Arsenal against Newcastle. Sensational player. I used to have that shirt as well. You know, I love that shirt. As I said, people, I'm going back to the old shirts, man. I've had enough of all these new school shirts, man, and, you know, ripping us off every season. Super Nick Anelka. Honestly, as a young striker growing up, absolutely loved him. One of my favourite ever players for Arsenal. Le Souk, that's what they used to call him, man. Angry screw face, didn't smile much, but he did the business on the pitch, man. Special. I have to say, I had the pleasure of watching Anelka, and I've seen Thierry on replay live as well for Arsenal, right? And I may be wrong. Maybe they're not actually. Maybe this isn't actually true, but Anelka looked quicker than Henry when I was in the stadium. I always heard that Henry was the quickest striker at Arsenal, but I actually thought Anelka looked quicker than him when he played. He was phenomenal. When he got in front of goal, man, lethal, absolutely lethal. Forgot he arrived at Arsenal before Henry. Amazing. We bought him for what, 750,000. We sold him for 23 million. Yeah, man. You see in the documentary, his brothers, man. His brothers were his agents, and they done some real dirty things, man, with moves and money and stuff like that. I think they wanted him to consistently move clubs to keep getting those signing on fees. Anelka played for a number of clubs, made absolutely millions out of the game. That front three of Bergkamp, Overmars, and Anelka, sensational, mate. Absolutely sensational player. Anelka was a superb finisher. Anelka was top 100 Arsenal players easily. Honestly, one of the best strikers I've ever seen play for Arsenal. As just a natural striker, played on the shoulder, pace. He was strong and he could just finish. He was absolutely fantastic. Loved him as a player. Did he do us dirty? You know, he was. The rumors was that he was sold by Arsenal to Real Madrid. That the profit was so big that the club wanted him to go. I think every time a player leaves Arsenal, we always look at that player as the enemy. Sometimes it is the club. Look at Adebayor. Adebayor said he begged Arsene Wenger to let him stay at the football club. When he went to Manchester City, all the Arsenal fans crucified him. Not all of these players wanted to leave, you know. He was built like a man at 17. He was just sensational. Loved him. Super Nick Anelka. What a player. Power, pace, clinical. Sensational player, man. Sensational. He wanted to leave. Okay, fair enough. Real Madrid, innit? You know, I think he won the Champions League at Madrid as well. Wenger made a lot of money from selling him. But do you know what? I read a story where Wenger said selling Anelka got him Thierry Henry and a training ground. That's what I remember him saying that. He said half the money went on Thierry Henry, who got even better than Anelka, and half the money went on the training ground being done up. So it was a worthwhile sale when you look what we got. Did you ever meet him? I never met Anelka. No, never. I sat close to the front of the North Bank and saw him. But no, unfortunately, never met him. That Adebayor celebration was gold. It was one of them celebrations. If we signed Adebayor from Man City and he did that for us, we would have been talking about that for years. But doing it against us, it was like, nah, you can't do that to us, bro. You was a nobody when you came here and you're doing that. But I have to say, the abuse that Adebayor got that day from Arsenal fans was way over the top, you know. Super Nick Pepe, yeah, he can be the next beast, man. We signed Henry for 12 million. Sold Anelka for, I think, 23, 24, and bought Henry for 12. So we did bits, man. Same here, I saw both Anelka and Henry live at Highbury, and Anelka was quick. Yeah, man, I thought he was quicker than Henry, which shocked me when I saw him because I always thought Henry was even quicker. How much would you pay to have Arteta live? What, live on this stream? Bruv, I'd pay a lot of money for that, you know, because he would get asked some very difficult questions by me. I honestly, let me make this clear. I have no problem with Mikel Arteta on a personal level. I respect him for taking the job. He's a former Arsenal player. He was captain. He won the FA Cup. He clearly cares about the football club. I just think the job's too big for him. And I think the club have not helped him to make himself a success at this football club. But I just think some of the decisions have seriously hindered him with his man management. He seems to have a bit of an ego, Mikel Arteta. Sometimes you got to look past that, man, and put the football club first. Big up John Lear with a super chat. Thank you very much as always, bro. He said Wenger was always selling top players. I remember him selling Overmars. I was baffled and sad. Yeah, man, he was a top player. He obviously sold Petit and Overmars to Barcelona. Henry also said Trezeguet was the best finisher in the French setup. Yeah, Trezeguet was a serious player. Curtis, big up, bro. What's with notifications? It tells me the next day about the live show. Oh, mate, I don't know. Make sure you hit the notification bell. I think a lot of the time now they just send an email or something. I don't know how it works. You're spot on with Arteta analysis. I try not to slander Arteta too much now. I still believe in what I've said before, that he's not quite the right manager for the club moving forward, in my opinion. Cormac says, Curtis House tricks my boy. Curtis, you are very harsh on Bellerin. Form not great from him, but he was a very good player. Circa 2016 injuries messed him up. The injuries have messed him up, but has he improved enough as a player, Hector Bellerin? Take out the injuries, but which I get. I get the injuries have hampered him, but why have we not seen enough technical ability, technical improvement? Why are we still talking about Hector Bellerin can't cross the ball when we were saying that 5-6 years ago? There has to be improvement. You're working on the Arsenal training ground every day. There should be improvements in your game with these coaches. You worked under Arsene Wenger, and we still haven't seen him improve. He makes silly mistakes like foul throws and that. So at times he doesn't help himself, doesn't help himself. People, I'm out of here. It's only a short one today, 45 minutes. I will be back tonight. People. Atletico Madrid versus Chelsea, live watch along. So join me for that. 7:45 will be live for that. 8 p.m. kickoff. I'll be back tomorrow I've got an Arsenal Benfica preview coming out tomorrow as well. So join in for that. I'll have the 2 p.m. show tomorrow as well. That'll be here as always. And then obviously Thursday is the big game, Arsenal versus Benfica. Biggest game of the season, people. We're going to do a lot of build-up for that. For that watch-along, I'm probably going to start that like an hour before the game. We're going to make that a long show. Our season is literally hanging on this game. If we get knocked out of the Europa League, the season is pretty much over, which is a sad state of affairs. I'm going to say, I do think we're going to beat them, though. I do think we're going to beat them. I'm just hoping. But I remember Olympiacos, that's still paying me, man. Listen, appreciate you all tuning in. Big up you guys. Great support as always. Thank you for your support. Join me again, 7:45, Atletico Madrid against Chelsea. Luis Suarez will probably be on smoke against Chelsea. And I'll be back tomorrow with more Arsenal content. Bless people.